I created the live stream. I created the StreamYard link. So we got my intro. So everybody on Rio's channel is super confused right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show X Rio Robinson live. Rio, I'm sure if you guys were in a stream like I was just an hour or so ago, you probably know he's not feeling too good right now. So we got some players up in front of him. But Rio, I appreciate you hopping on with me, man.
Hell yeah, man. First day of the free agent tampering period. And boy, was the fan base on AP's ass for quite some time today.
Yeah, man. Early in the day, so I just posted a video probably an hour and a half ago reacting to the Odafe Oweh signing. And I said, AP, he's giving me like rhythm shooter sort of vibes. They put him in the first quarter. He was just chucking it. He was Duncan Robinson. He was Kyle Korver. He was launching it, missing all of them. There. All right, you got to go get your ass on the bench. And they let him wait, brought him back in the second quarter, and he came out firing, hit a 30-footer.
It made me feel good to know that even though we weren't getting some of the earlier names being mentioned, that we were in there shooting. So he was getting the shots up early. They weren't falling, but he was in there, and they were just bouncing off the rim. So we do got a shooter at GM, and that's good to know because I can't have a guy that's out here afraid to be great. We have to attack success.
Yeah, bro. So we start off the day and they go for Alec Pierce. We find out they were willing to offer at least $30 million. I think the number we heard was 30. Maybe it was over 30. But I mean, Alec Pierce, this is what I would say. You saw my tweet. I know you retweeted earlier. I said that you are worth what the market will pay you. So he was worth it to the Titans. Heck, he was worth it to the Commanders because they offered him the contract. But if we skip ahead in the day, we get to Odafe Oweh. We learn the details of the contract. He's getting the 12th biggest contract of all edge rushers. Alec Pierce at $30 million would have been a top 10 paid receiver in the NFL. You ask me, do I think Odafe Oweh is closer to a top 10 player at his position or Alec Pierce is closer to a top 10 player at his position? I'm taking Oweh 10 times out of 10.
Indeed. And that Jalen Phillips contract, that one looked crazy as well. And I think Odafe Oweh is better than Jalen Phillips for the money that he got as well. I'm not too concerned over the concept of overpaying players. We have too many holes on this rosters, and we have such a deficit for top end talent that I'm not concerned with overpay. We got $100 million in cap space. We started the day with $100 million because we extended Laremy Tunsil. Stop worrying about money. You can't take the team salary cap home with you. Neither can Adam Peters. If you have a guy, you have identified that they are a perfect fit for this team, you go out there, you aggressively pursue them, and you make them yours. I was kind of happy to hear Ari Meroff say, hey, Washington was second in a few of the guys earlier. They finally land their guy. It made me happy and sad. If you got a guy you love, go get him. Explain the rest later.
Yeah, so that's probably where I hit a bit of a sticking point, right? Because this is my thing. We learned the contract details of Laremy Tunsil. He signs the extension. Laremy Tunsil, first of all, Hall of Fame bag chaser, but like in a good way, not in the Kirk Cousins way. Like the dude is about his money and he deserves it. He was the first offensive lineman ever to make 20+ million on a contract. Then he was the first offensive lineman ever to make 25+ million on a contract. Now he's the first offensive lineman ever to make 30+ million on a contract. And he represents himself. He's the one negotiating all this. So got to give Laremy Tunsil his credit where it's due. But with that being said, we get the details of it. We learn he gets the highest signing bonus of any offensive lineman in NFL history. So I'm like, damn, Commanders already had 80 million plus in cap. They're about to go crazy. They're about to drop a bag. And I hear they got outbid for Alec Pierce, or not outbid because they had the highest offer, but Alec Pierce chose the Colts. In my eyes, you got the money. You want to overpay? It's going to happen. We were all saying, look how many people the Patriots overpaid for last year. And then what happens? They go to the Super Bowl. So that's my only real critique. If they liked Alec Pierce enough to give him $30 million a year, then they should have liked him enough to give him $32 million a year. Get that deal over the line.
Yeah, so apparently it was Alec Pierce and Jalen Phillips that we were in on. Like, we were in on both of those calls. I'm not mad that they didn't get those guys because their numbers were crazy, but I'm also not mad if you overpay. It's kind of like when you make an aggressive draft day trade. You trade 3 first-round picks for this player. Nobody cares at the end if you hit on the player that you selected. Nobody's going to care that you gave Alec Pierce that deal if he goes out and goes for over 1,000 and gives you 7 to 10 touchdowns next year? No one's going to care. If you get your bang for your buck, if the player works out for you, nobody cares what you spent on them at the end of the day. And on the first day of free agency, the salary cap goes up every single year. It's not going down. It's not staying the same. It's a buyer's game. And buying two of the biggest spenders last year were the two teams that played in the Super Bowl. And the Patriots were getting right back to it today. Teams like the Raiders and the Titans were spending all afternoon long. You have to spend some money to win some money, man. I'm just happy to see that we did something today.
Yeah, so to your point there, last year, the salary cap, $279 million. I forget what the exact number is. I think it's 301 this year.
Yep.
So that's an increase of $22 million. So that cap number is going up. And with the Odafe Oweh contract, I think this is a good example of it. When I hear that Jalen Phillips got 30 and Oweh got 25, I'm like, well, I could be in the minority, but I think Phillips is not as good of a player as Oweh is.
He's not.
And for him to sign at 25, when we get 4 years down the line, because it's a 4-year contract, everyone's gonna be looking at that like he needs to fire his agent, because why would he ever sign that? Because the cap's just gonna go up.
It's crazy because I'm looking at what have you done for me lately, and I know Jalen Phillips has missed time. Last full season as a Raven, Odafe Oweh had 10 sacks, if I'm correct. This season, he had no sacks, and then he was traded to the Chargers, got 7.5 sacks. Last time we saw Odafe Oweh play football on the biggest stage in the playoff versus the team that represented the AFC in the Super Bowl, he had 3 sacks versus Drake May. So what are we talking about here, man? When I was so upset and appalled at people, oh my God, we overpaid. No. We are paying and projecting for the upside of what he can be in our defense. The best football is in front of him at this point. And the last that we've seen of this guy, he is a million times better than anything we have on the roster. That's the number one edge rusher we got. Put him in a 98 jersey. Let him get after. Guarantee he gets 10 plus sacks this year.
Yeah, I feel like that is a guarantee for sure, but it's not just him for me. It's the fact that you compare him up with Dorance Armstrong, and while neither one of those guys are DPOY candidates, I mean, if we look at Oweh, in his 13 games with the Chargers, 10 sacks, like you said, dominated in the playoffs. Armstrong in his last 9 games before the ACL tear, 9 sacks, a sack a game. So you've got that going on, and it's not just them as individuals. It's the fact that you look at Frankie Luvu, who had a bad year last year, was playing out of position a whole bunch. But when you have the attention of the offensive line, you have the attention of the quarterback, the running back, and pass pro, they're gonna forget. Hey, here's Frankie Luvu right here. Here's Jordan McGee coming up the A gap right here. When we think about how aggressive Daronte Jones we think he's gonna be coming from that Brian Flores defense, this one signing, it's not just that he changes the game because of himself; he changes it because of what he does to the whole defense.
It opens up something, and it gives. We desperately needed an edge with some juice, and Adam Peters loves his draft picks with a high relative athletic score. Well, his is about as high as you can get as an edge rusher. I think his 40 is a little juiced up because it was a combine 40. I mean, it was a pro day 40 instead of a combine 40. But when you see the green on the relative athletic score, that is an Adam Peters type of player. Exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, these numbers, 4.37 at 257 pounds. I'm trying to remember what Jalen Lane ran. I think it was a 4.33.
Yeah, but his is definitely a little juice. I went and watched it. He's a 4.4 guy. 4.4 guy, but that's a lot of juice coming off the edge. The 4.3, they sized it a little bit, but I'll let them roll with it, though. It looked good.
And keep in mind, the 39.5 vertical leap, I'm almost as impressed by that, if not more, because at 257 pounds, jumping 40 inches, 11'2" broad jump, that's what Sonny Styles got. And people are calling Sonny Styles the greatest athlete that's ever lived. And Odafe Oweh did it 5 years ago.
Oh, man. Sonny Styles on that second level of that defense with Oweh coming off the edge, man. I can see the vision right now. Ooh, both of them coming through on a blitz. I want to see Daronte Jones cook up, man. I also love that this signing on day one, it may have, gave us some options at pick 7. The need of the dire needed edge, which still does exist. It's not as much necessity as it felt before.
No, I definitely agree with you on that for sure. And if you look at the way that the other chips were played around the, just general legal tampering and stuff like that, I really think the only team that is ahead of the Commanders now that's going I think heavy on offense is probably the Titans. So they're going to be looking at Carnell Tate. They're going to be looking at Jeremiah Love. They could also be looking at Sonny Styles. And I think the 2 of the 3 that they don't pick, I think they'll probably be on the board for the Commanders. And then we'll just wait and see. Is David Bailey there? Is Ruben Bain there as well? Who does Adam Pierce ultimately settle with?
I'm excited, man. What we did today makes me more excited. We've got some other players we're going to talk about in a second, but getting Odafe Oweh, that gave me an exhale. Like there had to be at least one significant signing today. You were texting me earlier like, hey, this AP dude need to answer to me, man. I smell fraud.
All right, you got to relax. You got to relax. I'm trying to get credentialed this year, so we can't expose the full text.
He never said anything. Men in Black Zach.
I don't know. That AI is crazy. AI is crazy.
It is, man. It can make you do and say anything.
Yeah, we were texting, and after the OA thing came through, I was like, we got content. We got something to talk about tonight because we were waiting. I mean, Amik Robertson, we should probably talk about that because he was the first signing of the day. Mm-hmm. I don't know all that much about him. I went back, I looked at the numbers. I did what everybody did. Go to Pro Football Focus. He's 108 of 112. That's not very good, but at the same time, Pro Football Focus is not Jesus, right? We got to go back and actually watch it ourselves. Indeed. I watched this tape for probably like 10 to 15 minutes. It looked better than 108 of 112. I ultimately think he is going to be playing nickel, and that brings into question Mike Sainristil's future for me because I think he's best outside, but I also don't think this signing guarantees he is playing outside. What do you think about it?
I think this will be your competitor for that inside spot. I think him and Mikey are going to be battling for that inside cornerback slot. Amik can play the outside, but no, his little ass needs to be on the inside. He has better technique on the inside than Mikey. Mikey better come to play this year. I know Mikey is just this niche turnover forcing guy here. You better find a home this year because I think Amik is going to take a lot of his snaps away if he plays anything like he played last year. We still have a pretty serious need at boundary corner for this team because while Mikey proves to be better on the outside, I don't trust Mikey full-time as an outside cornerback. We need us a 6-foot corner out there opposite Trey Amos. So this does not take away from the need that we still have on the boundary. I think this is the guy you're going to see primarily on the inside, though.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was talking to a guy who the people on my channel know about this, but I interviewed a guy by the name of Cody Alexander. He was a coach at Baylor when RG3 won the Heisman there. Baylor won the Big 12 and all that. And he coached high school ball in Texas for 10 years. And that's basically like college level football in any other state in the country. So he's a smart dude. And we were talking about Mike Sainristil's future. And he basically said he's just too little to play the nickel. Because in the modern NFL, your nickels, they got to be your Jalen Petries. They got to be your Nicky Manwaris. They got to be able to come down, play the run like a linebacker. And Mikey, at his size, just isn't capable of doing that. So when I look at this Amik Robertson signing, again, going back and just watching like the 10, 15 minutes I saw, I agree with you. He looked more comfortable defending against the pass in the nickel, but it is the run that's the biggest concern for me because according to Pro Football Focus, and again, not everything, but he missed 20% of tackles. And then not according to Pro Football Focus, just according to the stats, the Detroit Lions over the last 2 years gave up the highest yards per carry in the entire NFL when they were playing nickel defense. And obviously that's not all on Amik, but the size does worry me, especially when Dan Quinn was telling us all offseason, we want to prioritize size. We want to go get size on the defense. And then they go out and they sign a 5'9" corner.
Yep. And I think it could work out there. I think they're going to be battling for that inside spot. Mikey is in such a weird position because he's like too small, but he's also not fast enough. And those are two like you're fighting for your life as a corner in the NFL in 2026 if you're undersized and you're not as fast as you need to be at the position. And on the outside, you're tasked with a lot of responsibility. Mikey gets beat off the ball a lot. He is an off-cover corner. He can excel as an off-cover corner who is a turnover specialist, but he's not someone we should ever expect to be sticking dudes up and down the field.
No, I agree with you for sure. And I actually think Daronte Jones' defense, and I keep calling it that, we don't really know what it is. When we say the Daronte Jones defense, we're thinking it's some sort of facsimile of the Brian Flores defense. But if we just roll with that, we just stick with that. Brian Flores and that defense were so aggressive, and they got home so regularly that even though in theory, like if you drew it up on the whiteboard, the corners and the safeties, all the defensive backs would be under more strain. but the ball was coming out so quickly. The routes all had to be fast developing routes that actually made it easier for the corners. And to your point, Mikey being this off coverage guy, vision on the quarterback, using his instincts, that feels like it should play to his strengths. So I still believe there's a world for Mikey to be a really good outside corner, but that starts with being able to generate the pressure up front. And that goes back to the Oweh signing and part of why I like it so much.
Hey, man, I'm good with it, man. I'll if the Amik Robertson one is not something that's going to keep me up at night, but I think he could be a really good player for us. And I'm not as high on Mikey as a lot of the fan base is about what his future is going to be with the team. So if this is inevitably a Mikey replacement or someone that takes snaps from Mikey, you're not going to hear me complain about it.
No, that's fair. And to be clear, I'm not the biggest Mikey guy in the world. When we look at the draft picks, Jaden's the only one who's stamped. Amos looks good, but we got to see more of it. And then other than that, there's just a whole lot of question marks to me.
Yep. Whole lot that we got to figure out.
If you guys are joining us in the chat, make sure you guys have the like button pressed. Also, we got tons and tons of comments rolling in. I'm going to go through them and I'll pick some out before we jump into the other signings. Tim Settle and just talk about what's going on out there. Also, if you guys are joining us and anything happens, like Commanders sign anybody, throw it in the chat. Keep us in the loop here.
Dowdle's off the board. He's a Steeler now.
Dowdle's off the board. Dowdle to Pittsburgh. Okay. I thought the Commanders were actually going to be making a play for him. I did.
It doesn't feel like we're making it's going to be Rashad White, and we're going to still be in our Washington going to draft Jeremiah Love territory at number 7, and I'm not mad at it.
Well, they have to be. That's the thing. If they sign Rashad White and it's White and Bill, they have to be in the Jeremiah Love sweepstakes. There's no other way around it.
Yep, it seems like that's where we're headed, and now that we've at least scratched a little bit of the need of edge, we're in best player available territory at number 7, probably where we should have been the whole time anyway when you picked that high.
Can Mikey play free safety? I've seen this question floated around a lot. And Scale, you're my guy, so you know I'm not picking on you here. But it feels like anytime a corner is playing bad, the natural reaction—
and move him to safety.
Move him to safety. Exactly. That'll fix everything. What do you have to say about this? Would you try Mikey as safety?
No, they do it. People do it every time. I see this. This is a very regular thing. This is commonplace in football fandom. When a corner starts falling off, or move him to safety, he'd be an elite.
Lattimore last year. They're like, try Lattimore as safety.
Not everybody's built like that and with that type of versatility, man. Mikey just has to find his home somewhere on the boundary at cornerback.
Amik Robertson is a body, but an athletic body at cornerback. Need more of those in the defense. Quantity over quality with the CBs in this defense. Look at the Vikings. 0 shutdown elite cornerbacks on that defense. Scheme is a massive part of that, but I do hear what you're saying. And one thing that I think is definitely a vote of confidence in Amik Robertson's favor is he was in the NFC North. Daronte Jones got a good look at him and said, yeah, that's a guy I want on my defense.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. He got to see him twice a year on the Detroit Lions, man. I hate that the last memory I have of Amik Robertson was him breaking his arm versus us in the divisional round of the playoff game. I was nasty. I remember that the game stopped for a little bit.
Yeah, the Lions that year, they were just decimated, and he was like one of the few guys who survived. And then it was first drive, right? First drive, he broke the forearm.
Yep. I remember even Lions fans, because they had all those injuries that year. That was like the last one. They were like, man, if Amik would have played, it would have been different. So, I mean, hey, the Lions feel this loss. They really like this player despite having a down 2025. So we might have got us one. I remember him coming out of school, but haven't kept up with him too much since he's been in the league.
I think we're signing cornerback Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen was the guy for everybody in Commanders Nation before free agency started. And then over the last week or so, I think his name kind of faded just because it was almost like written in stone. Everybody knew what you were going to say. But now we are at a time where some cornerbacks have gone. You know, Jalen Watson is gone. Other people have been moved around the league. Jamel Dean to the Steelers.
That Rams secondary, my goodness. Oh, my.
Yeah, the Rams, listen, this is not gambling advice, just to put that out there. But if you were trying to find out who's going to win the Super Bowl next year, I think the team is in Los Angeles because they were the second best team this year. Maybe they were the best. The Seahawks just beat them on the right time, and they got that roster looking even better.
Oh, my God. They got Watson and McDuffie. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And they're not done yet either.
No, they're definitely not done. F them picks, right? They're still going for it. Back to the comment here, though. I think we're signing Riq Woolen. I don't know if we are signing Riq Woolen per se, but when I think about Dan Quinn, we already spoke about this, but when I think about Dan Quinn saying they want length, I mean, Riq Woolen has length. It doesn't have to be Riq Woolen, but I do think there's another cornerback signing coming eventually.
Oh, no, there has to be. There has to be a boundary cornerback. Our starting boundary corner, I don't think is necessarily on the roster yet. There's got to be one. I would like Riq Woolen, but I know he's Dan Quinn's profile as a corner, but I don't know what Daronte Jones is because he kind of had like a smorgasbord of random at corner. There's Okudah and Murphy and stuff out there. I don't know what his flavor of corner or what Brian Flores' flavor of corner. We don't know what this defense is, and that mystery is beautiful, man.
It is. It's exciting, but it also makes it hard to predict. And people like you and me, I mean, we got to sit down here and talk about what's it going to look like. And sometimes the reality is we just don't know. We don't know what the answer is going to be.
We don't, but it's fun. It's fun. And a day like today where we could have thought, we probably assumed the team would be more active. We have so many questions. We still have so many holes and so many places to fill, but they started the offseason perfectly with getting Big Tunsil extended to start the day. And from there, we pushed on. We brought back a former player back who got better back home. Tim Settle got to be the oldest feeling 28-year-old ever, right? Because when we brought him back, I'm like, he's for sure to be 31 years old. Now, no, he's only 28.
So Tim Settle was drafted in 2018. Yep. He actually I went to high school about 10, 15 minutes away from him. He's from Manassas. He went to Stonewall, which I think they renamed. But yeah, it feels like he's been in the league for a hot minute. I mean,
wow, they renamed Stonewall? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's called, they might have changed it back, but I think they named it Unity Reed at one point. I think that was the name.
I did not know that. I used to play against Stonewall growing up. I did not know that they were called Stonewall, that they changed the name.
Yeah, wait, what high school did you go to?
I went to Freedom in Woodbridge.
Oh, okay. I went to Battlefield.
Okay.
But yeah, so grew up not too far away from him. Had I was out in Manassas all the time, and so I knew Tim Settle was like a local legend. Like this dude from the area actually made it to the NFL. We had somebody in my high school get drafted to the MLB straight out of high school. So like those were the big names when I was there. And Tim Settle, to your point, 28 years old. It feels like he's unk at this point, and like I mean I'm the same age as him.
Yep. He gave me the same vibes as Kendall Fuller when we brought Kendall Fuller back. Like, these got to be the youngest that feel oldest people I've ever seen play for my football team. Because we've seen them as Redskins, as football teamers, back as Commanders.
I mean, which pick? This is football team, right? This is football team. Yeah, so he's been there for a hot minute. But yeah, to your point, so Tim Settle, I was looking at the numbers here earlier on PFF. He played 12 games for the Texans last year, had the foot injury, had to leave. When he was there, he actually posted really good numbers as a pass rusher, which was impressive. And then the Texans defense, I mean, you couldn't do a damn thing with them throwing the football or trying to run it. And one thing that I think is just going to help with him coming to Washington is he's just big. They just needed size because Daron Payne, to me, can play the run well, but I don't look at him as like a two-gap occupier stuffer. Same thing with Javon Kinlaw. He's got the size. He's got those explosive plays, but then he also had the explosive plays happen against him where he's getting blocked out of the way and getting carved up for the hole. So Tim Settle, he's like the souped-up Eddie Goldman of this defense. Like he's just a big dude who's going to stop everything coming his way.
Yep, nice little one-gap nose tackle in the middle. We know we're going to be running some 3-4 with a multiple front under Daronte Jones, which we don't know exactly what's going to be. We just know what he ran under his predecessor, but he got much better. Like this version of Tim Settle is much better than the version of Tim Settle we saw in this picture of him next to Bobby McCain.
Wait, Bobby, he went to JMU, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah. Tim Settle went and found greener pastures and came back home a much better player, still under 30. We have no excuse on the inside. Tim Settle, Daron Payne, Javon Kinlaw, Jerzon, Johnny Newton, the depth pieces like Shy Tuttle and company. There is no reason we're not only stout in the middle against the run, but we're not getting pressure up the middle as well. He got to play in that Houston defense where everyone is a dog. He got to play around nothing but greatness in Houston. Bring some of that back to the DMV because we need it.
Yeah, we need that juice. I just looked it up. I'm tripping. He went to Memphis. We had somebody in the secondary recently who went to JV.
Moreland.
Oh, that's who it was. You're right.
Was it Jimmy Moreland?
Yeah, I think you're right. We got a comment here, and I want to throw this one up because this is going not this specifically, but just the Brian Thomas Jr. topic is big on Twitter right now. So here's what I'm going to say. First and foremost, the Jaguars are probably they're farting on the phone and then hanging up if you offer this to them. I think it would be more like a second, a third, and Daron Payne or like someone of that quality. Then I think you actually have a chance to get a Brian Thomas Jr. deal done. But here's my answer on would I entertain trading for Brian Thomas Jr. My answer is the Commanders showed their hand. They were willing to offer $30 million a year for Alec Pierce. Now, obviously, spending money is different from spending trade capital, draft capital. So you have to work on the math for that. But they have shown you they want to be aggressive in getting a playmaker for Jaden Daniels. And look, I get BTJ had the weird down year last year. I would feel more confident in Brian Thomas Jr.'s production in Washington than I would Alec Pierce. So I don't think it's this package specifically, but would I do it? I would pick up the phone and I would kick the tires on it.
First of all, on our side of things, we would take this trade in a freaking heartbeat. Yeah. We would take this trade in a heartbeat because there's no reason that they should be allowing this type of trade to happen. I wish we had the trade compensation to actually facilitate this trade because for all of the let's bring Jaden his friends, I would love to bring the one that's like 22 years old, still on his rookie contract, who had one off year, and his off year would have been the second best receiver on this team by a mile. I would love to have Brian Thomas Jr. Dog, this dude in his rookie season had about 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns, bro. There's things I've seen BTJ do that Terry hasn't done in his career, and that's not a slight on Terry. If there was a way we could get this trade done, I'd be all for it. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be someone else who reaps the benefit of a Brian Thomas Jr. trade. Just please keep him out of the NFC East because I could definitely see the Giants or somebody doing it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, love Terry. Brian Thomas Jr. in his rookie season with Mac Jones playing half the year beat Terry's career high. That's all I'm saying. Brian Thomas Jr., I get it. Down year last year. I still think, first of all, I think he's going to have a bounce back year this year regardless.
He is.
Yeah, but then considering he's Jaden Daniels' best friend, I think you would get the most motivated version of him possible. And if the offense is Brian Thomas Jr. on a rookie contract, Brandon Ayuk on a $5 to $10 million prove-it deal, and Terry McLaurin, and then you go get Jeremiah Love in the draft.
Oh, man.
That supercharges the offense now. That's a top 3 offense in the NFL.
It's electric. That would be so fun. But we're not getting Brian Thomas Jr. I want y'all to let this dream go. I would love to have Brian Thomas Jr. We don't necessarily have the facilities for that. I think at least until 2027, we've used up our big trade cachet. So draft and sign. That's all we got right now.
Well, speaking of signings for more of the offensive guys, there's a big tight end target out there floating around. I don't know where you were on him. He was my number one target for tight end the entire time, even when Kyle Pitts was in the mix, before Isaiah Likely got signed by the Ravens. Chigakonkwo has always been my guy, and he's one of the people who has survived the first 7.5 hours of legal tampering so far. And I just got to imagine the Commanders having missed the opportunity to spend the money on the receiver, knowing they want to help Jaden. I feel like they would look to bring in a really good pass-catching tight end, and Chig is that guy for me.
We still have time to bring him in. He's not going to break the bank. He's young. He's wiggly with the ball in his hands. He is going to be someone's yak dream if he gets with the right quarterback in the right system. We still have time to get it done. Here is my fear. This is one of my biggest fears of the offseason. One of my biggest fears of the offseason is that the coaching staff is higher on our current tight end room than we are as fans. And that gives me nightmares. That type of shit keeps me up at night because just going into a season with Ben Sinnott, John Bates, and Colson Yankoff and thinking that's going to get it done, that terrifies me.
Yeah, so I was asked the question, in my Discord earlier today, or maybe it was last night. I can't remember. The days are starting to run together now. But I was asked the question, just what are some of your bold predictions for free agency? And I gave out 3, and one of them was they don't sign a tight end. And that's because I thought that they were going to be super aggressive spending the money.
So it's your fault. You jinxed us. It's your fault, bro.
Hey, come on. You were just telling me to be patient. It's day 1. We got to see what's going to happen. I would do it. Just to be clear, I would do it. But to your point, I think there's 2 things at play here. I think that they need to spend the money elsewhere. Like, they still got to go look at the cornerback market, look at the safety market. I don't know what's happening at linebacker because the Raiders are signing all of them, but they got money to spend there. So I thought that combined with them being higher on the tight ends on the roster, like you said, I was worried that they just wouldn't really make a play for one of these guys.
I want a starting tight end that I don't care one lick that he can block. Like, I want a pass-catching, vertical, dynamic threat. Please go get me Chiggy Okonkwo. I don't know who linked us to them in all of these wrong media reports prior or leading up to free agency, but I need that person to be correct. There are still options out there, even options that I was looking past before. Like, David Njoku wouldn't be my preferred choice. I'll take him. Go get me a pass-catching tight end. I don't know what Ben Sinnott is. Now that we're under center, maybe he needs to be Kyle Juszczyk. Maybe he needs to be the fullback in this offense, but I don't want to see a tight end screen thrown to John Bates ever again in my existence of a Washington fan. You know who I'd like to see a screen thrown to? Chiggy Okonkwo. Seen him do it at Maryland. Seen him do it with Cam Ward. He's got Jaden Daniels as a quarterback over here. Go get us a tight end, a starting tight end. And if you don't want to get one there, the draft class is nice as well. Go get me a tight end somewhere before we get to the training camp portion of the season.
We got a super chat for you, Rio.
Yeah, what up? What up? My boy John Wick, Rio. When the young boy come home from class, we didn't sign shit. Go run, boy. Yeah, man. It took a little bit of a wait, but we got there eventually, right? About 3 hours in.
Yeah, just about. I think it was 3 hours. But yeah, everybody was panicking. And then, I mean, it was nice. Don't get me wrong. The little dopamine hit. Everybody started to calm down. All right. It was International Napping Day. Didn't know if Adam Peters was celebrating too hard and he was asleep at the wheel. But we got the dopamine hit. $100 million signing. Okay, that's cool. But this is still a 5-12 team. And yeah, injuries, we can talk about all you want. Jaden not playing, that's going to help. There's still a lot of holes out there to fill. So there's still work to be done. And again, I go back to the Tunsil thing. They cleared up. I don't know how much cap space they cleared up because the contract details aren't clear. But the fact that it was the most guaranteed money, the highest signing bonus, that an offensive lineman has ever gotten, that means they cleaned up a lot of cap space. So go out there and spend it.
Yep, go out there and spend. I see someone in the chat say Jordan Schultz was the one I seen announce that the Panthers, Rico Dowdle signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's the only person I seen with it. But come on, man. We could do anything at this point. Go sign me some player. The linebacker room concerns me. The tight end room concerns me. Go get me some players, man. Sign me a safety. It broke my heart when Brian Cook went off the board. I don't want us to be happy at safety either. We need safeties. We need backers. We need tight ends. We need pass catchers, which we all know. We're waiting on the shoe to drop with Brandon Ayuk. That's why we know that one of the receiver questions is going to be answered. Who the hell is snapping the ball to Jaden this year?
Look, let's get to that. I'm gonna let you get the other super chat off, and then we'll talk about the center.
Yes, sir. My boy Ben. What up, Ben? Saw you subscribe to the pod I'm part of. Commander's Call. That meant a lot, Rio. You're my go. Hey, man, I try to support everybody out there, man. We're all just passionate fans of this franchise that have found a niche and a lane for us to just yap about this team in our own unique way. I will try to support everybody doing this, man, because we're all just fans of the team. And we all want to see this team win. I won't say again because a lot of us have never seen this team win before. A lot of us, it would be the first time. So, shout out to all of y'all, man.
Yeah, and Rio's not lying. He is trying to support everybody. He was super gracious. I hit him up in the DMs. Sounds kind of crazy, but he was like, yo, would love to work something out. I posted a tweet back maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. basically said, I'm trying to get credentials. Like, I'm trying to be in the interviews, the press conferences with DQ and the players and all that stuff. And any support would help out. Rio gave me the retweet and everything. So yeah, appreciate you as well. I got to throw that in there.
Always.
All right, let's talk about the center position, because with some of the misses today, all right, you missed out on Alec Pierce. You missed out on Kenneth Walker. They were never really after Kenneth Walker. You missed out on Isaiah Likely. Chig's still there. You signed Oweh. The center position is still a bit of a mystery to me, because
$27 million a year for a center.
I mean, it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot. But if you cut Tyler Biadasz, look, all respect to Nick Allegretti. I found it very funny they gave him a press conference an hour before tampering opened. I was like, all right, guys, like, whatever. We'll let it rock. But with all due respect to Nick Allegretti, I appreciate the positional versatility. I appreciate the depth. I appreciate that he has started and can give you some games in a pinch. If this team is really trying to run the football, create the dominant offensive line, draft Brandon Coleman, draft Josh Connolly, cut the center because you're not pleased with his play, I just can't believe that they're willing to go into next year with with Nick Allegretti as the starting center. So Biadasz goes to the Chargers. Linderbaum gets signed. McGovern gets extended. I forget, homeboy who went to the Panthers. He gets signed as well. Like, somebody still got to snap the football. And I still struggle to believe that they want it to be Nick Allegretti.
Yeah, man. The Packers released two-time Pro Bowler Elton Jenkins, man. It has to be a veteran. If it ends up being Brandon Coleman or Nick Allegretti because they took a job from somebody, cool beans. I need us going into the program, the offseason program, with a veteran, experienced safety. Jaden's going to be taking more snaps under center this year than he's ever taken in his life. I need an experienced center shepherding in the program for him. So they better come up with a plan real fast. Cushenberry, Elton Jenkins, somebody. Maybe they know someone's going to get released. Maybe we draft one higher than we expected us to draft. But there needs to be a plan. I don't know if that plan needed to be given. I said that you overpay when you know someone's that guy. $27 million a year for a center. That's a little bit sacrilegious, though.
The Raiders needed to do something. All right. As an Ashton Genty fantasy football owner, the Raiders needed to do something with that line. I think they're going about it the right way. They're kind of doing what the Patriots did last year. They're overpaying for people. Yep. But they're doing it for guys that are going to help them out a lot. They're talking about they might not even play Fernando Mendoza next year. They're going to let him get a year on the bench. I appreciate the intelligence with which they're going about this. And they did need a center. And I'm with you. I'm all for overpaying if that's your guy, because that's not overpaying. If you have to pay what it takes to go get him, then you're paying. That's not overpaying. But in this case, where he's getting paid like an elite left tackle as a center, you have to draw the line somewhere.
Yep, you do, man. Hey, there's got to be a solution in here somewhere. I don't know what the solution is yet. It's only day one of free agency, but I think they need to sew that up pretty soon.
Had to double up. We could have traded Tyler, by the way. This was a fun conversation the other day, and one that I got kind of killed for, because I said, look, I don't know anything. I don't have inside sources. I don't know. I just look around the league, and I thought that they might have been able to get a draft pick, at least a pick swap. Give us your 6th for our 7th, and you take Tyler Biadasz. And of course, everybody's telling me you don't know anything. You think you're smarter than Adam Pierce. Like, no, I don't think I'm smarter than him. I just do think there is a possibility a mistake might have been made one time. Where were you on that sort of a discussion that was going on?
I didn't really give it much thought. I imagine if Adam Peters has the prowess we believe him to have as a general manager at the combine, they're chatty patties. He would have thrown that offer. They've had to have thrown the name Tyler Biadasz around to know that they're not getting anything. So they were doing him the service of freeing him to go sign with the team. And it did not take him long to do so. I didn't really give that idea much thought, because I honestly, after they released him, it was like, okay, cool. What's the solution now?
Well, that's where I guess that's where we circle back now, because what is the solution with the way that free agency is played out?
Yep. Hey, Elton Jenkins just released 30. As long as he's healthy, hey, 2 Pro Bowls in your career, I don't need to know much more. Can you still play football? If you played in a zone scheme before, come on down. Because once we saw up that center spot, the offensive line is good to go. I don't need to worry about it or talk about it anymore. Let's get some weapons. Let's fill out this defense and let's roll.
I mean, this is a good pick right here. The guy who got a 3rd for Jahan Dotson and a 5th for Howell, he definitely tried to get a pick for him. You guys, look, this is what I've said the entire time. I'm very open to the possibility that I am wrong on this. I'm just saying, when Biadasz gets cut and then immediately gets the 6th largest contract in the NFL, and the Bears trade for a center who's worse than Biadasz, like, I'm gonna give it a 5% chance that it could have happened. But again, I could have been totally wrong. I don't know anything.
It definitely could have. It definitely could have. But the NFL is weird. They're weird about value. You know what I'm saying? We got to pick for Brian Robinson Jr. So I get it. Like, if there was a pick to be had for Biadasz, I would assume they would have got it.
I'm looking through the comments here, and we got people all over the place. I'm just gonna roll with this one because I think it's open-ended, and that leaves us with a good discussion point here. AP working on something. So I think the obvious targets out there, Rashid Shaheed is gone. I think some of the obvious targets are Romeo Doubs. I think Rachaad White is there. Devin Lloyd is there. Who are some of the other names that you got your eye on?
I wish we were willing to spend. I think we've got our big spend out the way with Odafe Oweh. I think it's going to be a lot more of the secondary, 3rd tier. Devin Lloyd would be fun to have. Give me a Leo Chenal. Give me the linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs. Would love to have him here. Nick Cross at safety if they dare touch the safety room. If Romeo Doubs has been my guy since about early December to bring in here. And Tyquan Thornton adds some speed as well. He actually showed something in Kansas City last year. But I need a tight end, man. I need a linebacker. I need a tight end. They'll figure out running back. We already know we got a receiver that we're sitting on, and I'm praying this Ayuk thing works because I'm a lot more pessimistic about the situation than most of our fans are. But
Wait. You're more pessimistic than the fans? All the fans that I have seen are pissed about Ayuk. So where are you with this?
No, I see a lot of people that are like mad at me because I'm not all over the, like, I know who Brandon Ayuk is. I know what he was before the injuries. I want to know that his head's in a place where football matters and that his body's in a place where he can go out and be at least a good percentage of what he used to be. And people, oh my God, you hate Ayuk. You hate him. He's Jaden's friend. If Jaden wants him, that's all that matters. Like, I love our quarterback. Just because Jaden wants him does not mean I want him, though. Like, no, I'm not moving like that. I want what's best for the team. I would like to see videos of him sprinting. I would like to see videos of him cognizant of what's happening in the world right now, running around. Go run some routes for Jaden and make a YouTube video or something like documentary De'Ami Brown. I need to know and see because a lot happened in San Francisco, and it takes a lot for a guy to throw away a generational bag. And throwing away $30 million per year just because you want to play with your friend, that's not always something that makes a lot of sense to me. So I need to make sure that this is a trustworthy character because I've seen some situations end before they even start as a Washington fan, and I'd rather not subscribe to that if I don't have to.
So my audience knows how I feel about this, but you got a lot more people than I do. So I'll say my point out there. First and foremost, I'm not the leader of the pro Brandon Ayuk camp. I do recognize the benefits that could happen if he comes in. I'm sure you do as well. If he comes in and he still looks like a dude. And for me, the knee thing, if he's healthy right now, look, you tear your ACL, you tear your MCL, you tear your meniscus. He's not making it as deep in his career as he would have beforehand, but maybe he can still play at that really high level right now in the short term. Okay, well, we get to the question, which is your big question. Like, why are you walking away from that money? How does that make sense? This is my thing. My theory on this, and this is all speculation. I know nothing. This is my conspiracy theorist sort of self here. I think Brandon Ayuk, knowing all of the injuries that the 49ers have and have had for the last however many years, I think Brandon Ayuk had some sort of disagreement, or he didn't quite see his rehabilitation process the same as the 49ers medical staff.
So he wanted his own guys.
There was some sort of pressure from like Kyle Shanahan or the front office. Get out there. And he's like, look, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. There's a falling out. And then basically he gets to the point where he's like, look, you guys clearly, if I go out there, I'm going to hurt myself and I'm never going to play football again. And if that's what it's going to be, then I would rather just not be here at all.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of, we're never going to go the full answer and the gist to all of it. And I think that's the route we're going, so I'm going to be fine with it. I'm not going to be weird like some of our fans that actually root against players on our team just so they can be right. No, if he gets here, I would like him to return to what he was before his knee turned into shredded beef bulgogi in 3 different ways, ACL, MCL, PCL. I would like him to turn into that guy again if he's here. And I would like him to be committed to football and in a good place mentally, because mental health means just as much as physical health. I want that guy in a good place mentally and home with his guy, and I want it to work out if he gets here, but I don't want us to look stupid. I've seen my team look stupid a lot, and this is a situation that could very well fall into the folder of we look dumb as shit and all the signs were there. I don't want it to be that, so I'm going to continue to have my caution about it. I don't care what anyone thinks about it. That's how I feel about the situation. If he's my wide receiver too, let's get it, Brandon Ayuk. If he's not my wide receiver too, not going to lose a single night of sleep over it.
I mean, yeah, that's what it should be. I mean, you're spot on. The people who root for Brandon Ayuk because Ayuk's going to be playing football in DC. I'm convinced of it.
Oh, he is. He's here already. I don't know what the deal is, but he's here.
So for people like, oh, I hope he fails. Why? So you want your team to waste money and lose games to prove a point. Just take the ego hit. You were wrong. He works out, and then he goes on to have 1,000 yards, catches 10 touchdowns, and the Commanders win some playoff games. That's the way that I see it. Like, don't be selfish. Everybody here is covering or talking about or rooting for the same team. You might have your beliefs about a player. You might have your perspectives on how you want things to go, but everybody has the same end goal in mind. So don't sacrifice that end goal for your journey.
Hey, but that high risk comes with high reward, because if we get Ayuk for the low ski and he's 85% of what he was in San Francisco, we're robbing everybody blind. So I get it. He's done this with Jaden, got him drafted in the first round. I get it. They have immense chemistry. Ayuk and Terry, that'll be the best we've ever been set up. And I think we're signing this guy. So trust me, my fingers are crossed that this shit works out. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if that don't want to ride.
No, I would not either. Member for 34 months. You got a real one right here.
Hey, Queen Sheen. Oh, that's a day one. That's day one gang right there. Been supporting my channel since I was talking to myself on these live streams. Always holding it down. Always letting the chat know to smash that like button. And make sure y'all also smash that subscription button to my guys' channel. Let them know where they can subscribe to your channel as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm over at Full Command. And I mean, I would plug Rio Robinson, but I feel like everybody already knows where to go for that.
Yeah, plug yours. Yeah, let them know where to find you. Full Command, my guy. Y'all make sure y'all sub to my guy because he gives real content as well.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so I accidentally started. I didn't even mean to do this, but I started some controversy the other day because I think
it happens. Welcome.
It involved you because I was just talking. I think yesterday I was like, I'm hopping on with the GOAT of the Commanders community, Rio Robinson, and someone's like, well, I think this person is the GOAT. And I was like, all right, like chill. Like,
hey man, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and all of us like each other. Like, we have channels together, we collab. There's no infighting or no jousting for first place when it comes here, man. So it's always something in the community. In Commander Land, everything is a debate. So get used to that shit, man.
Yeah, and one day, as I continue to grow, I hope that I can do what you're doing, put other people on. But like, genuinely, I mean, I'm sure you know this already, but like I told you, like, you actually kind of inspired me to start this channel. So yeah, it's just cool to be here talking to you.
I appreciate that, man, because I promise you, I'm just a regular ass fan, just like everybody else. I just like to yell over my microphone. I do my son sometimes, man. So that's all it is. Just stay you through the process, man. Don't try to sound like anybody else. Don't try to be Timu ESPN. Just be yourself, man. Just be yourself, and they'll stay, man.
People don't want the headache of Ayuk. I think 31 other NFL teams don't want the headache of Ayuk. I think the Commanders, again, we're just assuming this is happening. I think the Commanders want the headache because if they're signing him, they don't think he's going to be a headache. And there's multiple reasons to believe that, right? I mean, there's the Jaden Daniels effect. There's the fact that if he's leaving San Francisco, you would assume it would be because he doesn't want to be in a place he doesn't want to be. And if he leaves, he would choose a place he wants to go to. So I think ultimately, if this does happen, it actually wouldn't be a headache, at least in the short term. The long term could change. And to your point, this is super high risk, super high reward.
Hey, like someone said in the chat, 5-12 is a headache. So I get it. If any team don't want to hear it, it's us. Hey, look, I expect us to sign Ayuk. You also expect us to sign Ayuk. Then let's get it. Let's get it. Hey, Jaden not going to Saudi Arabia anymore. I need a Jaden passing video to Brandon Ayuk by Easter. I need it. I need to see this guy running on a treadmill, on a city bike with his shirt. I need to see this dude doing something active on the field. Someone get a drone out. Someone make a video. Someone show me Brandon Ayuk running around. Just give me something to hold on to before we get to and you better be an off-season workout if we're taking this chance on you.
Oh, that was a big thing for me. And look, I mean, off-season workouts, normally that's a no-no. Terry, the whole contract hold up, Terry wasn't coming to practice. He wasn't doing any of that. That's got to go out the window. Adam Peters, they got to go to a Lifetime Fitness or something. He has to see him do some box jumps, do some lunges, like you were saying, do anything. Just let me see that the knee works. And let me talk to you. Do you sound like a normal human? Are you excited to be here? And if so, cool. We can try to make something shake. But this has to be a prove-it deal no matter what. But even then, you can't give out the prove-it deal if you have no idea where he's at with anything.
You know what would be a nightmare scenario? We end up not signing anyone, and then the Ayuk shit don't work out, and we don't get Ayuk either. then wide receiver so big on the draft list.
He goes to the Patriots or something, and we got Terry and Burks and Jalen Lane.
Don't do that to me now. Last year, I'm scarred from watching this is Robbie Chosen and Chris Moore, aka Simo, and Jacoby Jones and River Craycraft. I never want to go through that again. Burks, McCaffrey, Lane, perfect way to close out the room. Wide receivers number 2 and 3 need to be starters. They need to be a starting wide receiver on the boundary and a starting slot type player there as well. We don't need to be playing wide receiver roulette next year.
Nah, so I posted a video. This was right after David Blau got hired. I posted a video on Twitter. It was every single Jaden Daniels drop back pass from under center in his career. And it was like a 1 minute, 50-second video, which is hilarious in and of itself. But you go through 2024, you get to 2025. First of all, he didn't have a drop back under center pass until week 9, which is crazy. And it was against the Seahawks. The players on the field with him, and I can't take credit for this because someone tweeted me and said, "Do you see who's on the field right now?" The players on the field with him were Jalen Lane, Ben Sinnott, I think John Bates, Chris Moore, and Bill. Those were the skill position guys he was working with.
Nasty work, bro.
Yeah. How are you supposed to do anything in that situation? Good job bringing this. Oh, this is for you because this is a member for 14 months. I didn't even have a channel 14 months ago.
What up, Uncle Jay? My guy, Uncle Jay, man. Good job bringing this guy on. I love his content. Hey, Uncle Jay likes your work, man. This is my guy right here, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. What else we got here? I'm just scrolling through the comments. I'm trying to see what kind of interesting.
What do you think we sign next?
Ooh, what do I think we sign next? Okay, so I'll answer this question with someone had asked me when legal tampering opens and AP picks up the phone, who do I think he's calling first? What position? And my answer was linebacker, because I thought there were so many of them that he would just be spoiled for choice, and he knew he needed a linebacker. And they don't have one yet. And the Raiders are signing all of them, and credit to the Raiders because they're rebuilding that franchise really quickly. I don't know if it's Devin Lloyd. I don't know if it is Chanel. I don't know who it's going to be, but I look at that. And if we take positional value out of the equation, I think the position that needed the biggest upgrade was linebacker, and they haven't done it yet. So I would say keep an eye on linebacker, and then maybe Chig for tight ends.
And that Bobby Wagner re-signing gonna hit like D-Day.
It's coming too. You know it's coming.
Oh, it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. But hey, I don't think that would stop us from going to get like a Sonny Styles or something, and him learning under Bobby Wagner. That you can sign me up for, even though I would like to move on from Bobby Wagner.
We got breaking news here. We're about to go get JSN.
Is there a new JSN? We can't be talking about the Emerald City route artist.
Yeah, this new JSN's got to be Jacoby somebody. I don't.
I almost said JSW, James Smith Williams, because we used to carry a random obscure player with an acronym last name all the time.
Antonio Goldie Ganton.
Oh my God, the Rubik's Cube master, man. Oh my goodness, man.
Let's see. In order to bake a Super Bowl cake, you got to be able to pick the Super Bowl ingredients. This is a good point here, and it's a really big offseason for AP. We're in the middle of legal tampering. We're at the beginning of it. It's easy for us to overreact. We got to give them time. But for me, it's the draft picks too, because we are in year 3, and AP has wanted to build through the draft, and it's time for the year 3 guys, like the rookies. Okay, we'll give them a pass, except for that 7th pick. That 7th pick's got to produce. But like the year 3 guys, even the year 2 guys, they got to start proving they are the building block pieces of this franchise, or this team is really far behind.
Yeah, pick 7 and 71 need to both be starters, by the way. That 71st pick, that 3rd round pick, I'm sorry, you don't get to live like a normal 3rd round pick. You need to start on my football team this year, brother. If not starting, you need to get as many snaps as a starter. Like, our draft picks got to matter. We can't have multiple, like the 2nd round of 2024 with Mikey Sanders still, Ben Sinnott, and Johnny Newton. We can't have 3 rotational pieces out of 1 round. Like, you can't have 5 top 100 picks and the only one that hits is the quarterback. Can't have that. We need to show that you can develop these talents. Seattle is one of the best. Seattle and Baltimore are the 2 best team builders because they develop the play. They hire the right people, and those right people develop the players that they draft. I'm pretty sure not every person they draft is a seamless fit. They make them a seamless fit because they curtail their system to the players that they pick. They always make it work out. We need coaches that can develop these players into something, because the draft is ultimately going to take you to the promised land no matter what you do in free agency.
No, I totally agree with you. I was just looking at this comment right here, and I think it's interesting, and I don't really think there is an answer. I'm trying to get some Sonny Styles clips up in the background. Here we go. I think this is an interesting question that we could try to answer here, but I also don't know that there is an answer right now. If DQ doesn't win this year, are we going to crucify him or AP? It depends. It really does, because one thing I'll say this about DQ is, actually, there's a couple things. DQ's not a scheme guy at this point in his coaching career. He's the leader. He's the culture guy. He hires the defensive coordinator. He hires the offensive coordinator. They're the scheme people. That works if they're really good on the clipboard. That works if he can hold the team together. All we heard throughout the entirety of last season was the locker room still loves him. The players still love him. He got an A or an A+ on the coaching reporting cards, right?
A+.
Yep. Yeah, A+. So are we going to crucify him? From that perspective, if AP doesn't give him the right dudes, then no, we can't crucify him. But if it's his mistakes, or if he loses the locker room, like, I'll give you an example. I have said pretty much since like early 2024, Dan Quinn's clock management and game management gaffes are going to lose this team games. Now, last year, you didn't really see it because they were just going to lose no matter what. But if the team is good this year, let's say AP kills the rest of free agency, kills the NFL draft, you get to the season, there are still those issues for DQ that he has to correct. And then in that situation, that's when you would say, okay, this is on DQ and maybe we got to look for someone else.
And there's no excuse for that, because as Dan Quinn, you've given full autonomy of the defense and the offense to other people. So all you have to do on the sideline is manage the damn game and be Mr. Captain Morale. That's all you have to do on the sideline. Call timeouts and challenge when you're supposed to. Make sure guys are pumped and pepped up coming in and out of the locker room, and manage the damn game. That's it. That's it. If you can't do that, like, what are we even doing here? Like, this is not ROTC. This is football.
And if we're also being fair, if we go through the season and Daronte Jones doesn't know what he's doing and David Blau doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, they're all cooked.
That's on DQ. He hired him. And if he's not going to have autonomy over one side of the football, to use your word there, like Mike McDonald, he calls the plays for the Seahawks defense. Kyle Shanahan calls the 49ers offense. When Mike McDaniel was in Miami, he was calling the plays. There are play caller head coaches all over the NFL. So if you are not one of those guys, then you better have the right coordinators in place, and you better do your job outstandingly well. And he needs to be held to a high standard this year, because if Daronte Jones is this scheme master, if David Blau is this boy genius, like, think about this. If Commanders go 8-9, but the offense looks innovative and excellent, and you get a career year from Jaden or Terry, is David Blau in line to be your next head coach? Because, you know, there's a losing team out there that's going to speak to him because he's one of these new boy genius offensive guys. And then you look at Dan Quinn, well, like 8-9, 9-8. Yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world, but are you willing to lose David Blau in that scenario? That's a question that you have to think about.
Yep. And Guy, you hired these people. They have to work now because of you. This is all on you. You put your balls on the table, and I respect the gamble of bringing in two non-experienced play callers, two up-and-coming guys that I think I have I get why he has confidence in both of these guys. But I think the thing, though, is that fans don't want to hear. I think Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, no matter what, are going to get 5 years. I think they both have a leash that's a lot longer than what fans think so. Unless we go like back-to-back with like top 5 type pick seasons, I think they're going to see the 5 years of their contracts together.
I think that is definitely what they want. The only real... another 5-12 season, probably out of there. The only other thing would be if Dan Quinn makes another decision. And look, I don't want to relitigate the past here, but if he leaves Jaden out in a 30-point blowout at the end of the fourth quarter and he gets injured again, that might sign his pink slip.
I'm knocking on wood. I want that in the universe. I don't want those words out there in the universe at this point, man, because this season was hard to get through, man. It was hard to bear some of the nonsense and preventable things we've seen.
This one's you dominate the super chats. This one's for you.
My guy, Big Kwame, what up, what up? He said he's been hyped for tonight's set. You always bring solid content and pay it full command. You rock. I tune in weekly. Hey, Kwame listens to yours just as much as he listens to mine, man. That's my guy right here. Met him, too, at our show that we did last year. That's good people.
Dope. That's awesome. Appreciate you, Kwame.
Yes, sir. That's good people.
Oh, my goodness. Why are you trying to call it, Grant? I'm not trying to call it. I'm not. I'm just... The question was asked, what would it take for DQ or AP to get fired? And that's my answer to the question. So
hey, that type of thing, it definitely speeds up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're allowed to change your mind when you're presented with new data. Everybody, keep that same energy. No, I think keep that same energy is a very stupid way to live life.
It's so dumb.
You are allowed in life to change once data presents itself to you. Please do not live that life. Talk about keep that same energy.
Nah, like, okay, so just for example, right? Like, Mike, I love Mike Sainer still, and then after a month of watching him get cooked, it's like, I don't think Mikey's that good, or you need.
You're a hater. You hate him. You hate him so much.
or I told you this at the beginning. You should have listened to me. Like, well, maybe I was right. Maybe he was playing
This
well.
is what's gonna happen. I would rather us pass on this Ayuk situation. I've accepted that Ayuk's coming. Ayuk comes here and goes for 1,200. Keep that same energy, Rio. Say he sucks. Say you don't want him. First of all, I never said he sucked. Keep that same. You didn't want him here. Keep it. Oh,
on the topic of the coordinators, in y'all opinion, what's considered a success for the two first-year coordinators? I'll give my answer first. I don't define success by anything numerical because it could be a multitude of things. I want to see, first and foremost, there are going to be problems. There are, and more for Blau especially, because Daronte Jones has been coaching for, I think, 24 years now, and I get that this is his first time calling plays in the NFL, but he called plays at Bowie State. He called plays at LSU. That's pretty big, and he was just 3 years of Flores. David Blau was on the Lions practice squad 2 years ago. So there's going to be some issues with sequencing. There's going to be issues with situational play calls. We have to accept that, again, specifically more on the offensive side. I want to see improvement. I want to say innovative scheme. I want to see players progressing. That was my biggest problem with Joe Witt Jr. Again, not trying to relitigate the past here in the Joe Witt conversations, but everyone's like Joe Witt Jr.'s scheme and this and that. I was like, that's not my biggest problem. The problem is the players are getting worse as time is passing. So if the players are making mistakes, but they're making them less often and they're making better splash plays, then that's a success for a first-year coordinator.
Yep. We know what it looked like. There's no numerical value. There's no they need to rank this or that. The eye test will tell us whether they passed or whether they're a passable coordinator in year one. We've seen what disaster looks like. If it's not that, we should be fine. And also, even with David Blau being a first-time guy, we know the talent that Jaden Daniels is. If he's not getting through to that talent, then it'll show you very soon whether he's capable or not to do this at the next level.
100%. I mean, David Blau is walking into a good situation as well, especially if, I mean, the Ayuk is a question mark. If it works out, that's really good for David Blau. I think an offense with Burks, Ayuk, and Terry, and I'm not trying to say that this is the best offense in the world.
Oh yeah, let's put some respect on my boy Spooky Lukey because he made me a believer last year. Shout out to Luke McCaffrey, man.
Oh,
I had no confidence in that brother, and last year he was definitely coming on. So we need to not forget his name when we bring up these receivers on this roster.
No, for sure. I'm excited to see Luke back too. I put Burks in there specifically because of his physical profile. And I mean, Luke is a big dude too, but Burks literally looks like a tight end when he's playing. So I think you could get some weird packages where you have Burks in the slot, or maybe he's on his own side of the field and it's Terry in the slot. And we could put Luke in here as well. I think you can really move these guys around a lot. And David Blau, he's come up with a couple of trick plays. We know that in Detroit. We know that in Washington. I feel like with the talent that he has with Jaden, with some of the pieces, might not be the best talent in the world, but as far as just going out there and putting things together, I think he's in a really good spot for a first-year coordinator.
I think he is too. And we hit on a couple picks. We signed a couple starting quality players. Just with the guy Jaden is, man, he's not given the hardest job in the world. You got a good offensive line coming in. Not many teams have that. To inherit that and the prowess of a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, both coordinators are set up. Well, he's set up to succeed. I got to see what we give Daronte Jones on the defensive side before I go that far. But he has the experience, so he has to lean on that. I'm very curious to see how the rest of free agency heats up, man. I wonder what we'll be talking about tomorrow around this time.
Yeah, I think it's getting close for us to close to time for us to hop off. I was hoping we were going to get a signing. I really was. I was feeling it because they still got work to do. They still got tons of money, but we didn't get anything.
We might get one of those late night 11 p.m. signing. We're about to sign off, and today when I sign off, acquisitions happen. So maybe once we sign off of here, give it an hour or so to let it marinate, and a new signing could be on its way.
All right. Well, before I close it out, you got one more, and then we'll wrap it up here.
Yep, my guy said, let's go, Rio. He made you a believer. I think Blau can actually use Luke. Cliff only used him out of necessity. Man, Spooky Lukey was showing not just as a receiver, versatility on the inside and out. Luke was looking like White Shaheed as a kick returner.
Daniel Hester.
Yes. Oh my God. He had us at the 43-yard line every time he touched the kick return. You know, he just don't got that extra gear to take it all the way to the crib, but he was getting us in amazing field position every kick return. So shout out to Luke, man.
We got one final one here. Good night, boys. Great stream. Scale. Appreciate you. Appreciate you as always.
Hey.
Any final thoughts here? Are we good to wrap this up?
Everybody breathe. Everyone marinate in what took place today. We still got a long job to do. Team, don't think it's over because you made a couple signings. Shout out to Odafe Oweh for saving the day, because without that acquisition, it may be mass mutiny in the fan base. But keep fighting. Keep scrolling through them phones, and we're going to see what this team does, because AP not dumb. And him not being dumb means there's a lot more for us to do this offseason. So stay posted.
100%. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you joining us here. Fun times ahead. Legal tampering. Everybody was illegal tampering. At least we get to talk about it now. Free agency opens on Wednesday. That's when the contracts are getting signed. So my channel, Rio's channel, we're going to be covering every single inch of it. So appreciate you guys all rocking out. Have a great evening, and we will catch you all in the next one.